In a beautiful village in a faraway land in Africa, there lived a king whose wealth has no measures. The king has acres of land filled with cows, sheep, goats and other livestock. He has the largest barn of yam in the land and has so many servants. He was loved and admired by the people. The king has a daughter whose name was Akweke, who has to be his only child. He loved her so much that he did everything to make her happy. Akweke grew up to be a very beautiful and charming young lady, which drew so many attentions from the community and neighboring lands. But Princess Akweke was rude and arrogant young lady who disrespects the elders and the poor. She doesn't listen to what her father tells her. Many suitors came for her hand in marriage, but she said none was as worthy as her dad, who is the king. This made her mom to get worried that soon her time to marry might pass. Her mom advised her to get married to any of the suitors from the land, that her dad, who is the king, will bless them with his wealth. But she was not listening to her mom nor her dad. The news of the princess rejecting suitors spread like wildfire. Both the physical world and the spiritual world heard about it. The king of the dark kingdom saw how arrogant the princess was and decided to teach her a lifetime lesson. So the king of the dark kingdom sent out his son to go and marry the princess. So the son left and disguised as a wealthy prince. With him, he brought cows, gold, and many valuable things. On reaching to the village, everyone was marveled on the expensive things he brought for the princess. When the princess looked out from her window and saw the prince, and she said, "Finally, a worthy suitor has arrived." When her mom saw the prince, she was not okay with it. She warned Princess Akweke not to marry the unknown prince, but Princess Akweke rejected and yelled at her mom. So the mom told the king not to allow their daughter marry the unknown prince, but the king was after her daughter's happiness. He said, if marrying the prince will make Princess Akweke happy, that he is in support for Princess Akweke to marry the unknown prince, and that Princess Akweke is no longer getting any younger. So the marriage ceremony set off. Many people came, both people from the neighboring village. The whole palace was colorful and beautiful. So after the ceremony, the prince left with the princess to their land. On their way, the princess noticed that they keep decreasing in number, both the animals. This made her to wonder, but each time he asked her husband, he told her not to worry, that everything is just as the same. As they keep going into the deep forest, the handsome prince starts to look creepy and scary. This made Princess Akweke shout out of fear, and they told her that they have heard how arrogant she is, that they have brought her here to teach her some manners, so that she will know how to treat people with love, equity and respect. When they reached their kingdom, the prince ordered for the princess to be locked up with little food and water. Akweke was left in the cell. She cried all day and night, calling upon her mom and dad. She wished she had treated everyone right, and she wished she had listened to her mom not to marry the unknown prince. She was tormented in the cell with different kinds of horror. On the other hand, her dad, the king, was worried that her daughter is not yet back from her husband's place. According to their tradition, Princess Akweke should be back in 3 days' time to tell her dad on how she saw the land, the people, and their way of life. These 8 days, no sign of Princess Akweke. The queen was crying and worried. So this made the king to send message to the public that all able-bodied men should come to the palace, that the princess is missing, that whoever that will bring her daughter back will marry her and have half of his wealth. So people were surprised when they heard that the princess is missing. Some were happy about her missing because the way she treats the poor and how arrogant she was to them. So 4-bodied young men were selected for the rescue. They are Ibe, Ohaji, Ikoku, and Dede. Finding the princess is not going to be an easy task, because all the guard and maid who left with her has not come back neither. The next morning, Ibe, Ohaji, Ikoku, and Dede set out to look for the princess. They went far north searching. They ran all day and night calling on Akweke in the deep forest. For 3 days they kept the search on. Then they ran into a cave to see if they could have any clue. It was a long cave. On their 4th night, they set out a campfire with some bush meat, which they caught on their way. As they were roasting the meat, they were discussing on the next strategy they will use. On the other hand, the creepy prince was yelling at Akweke, telling her that no one will come and save her from her hands, that she is all alone in this deep dark forest. The princess lost the appetite for food. All she wished was to go home to her beautiful palace and to see her mom and dad and start to treat people fair and well. The next morning, Ibe, Ikoku, Ohaji and Dede set out for their journey. After a long walk in the forest, they came across a royal crown which the princess was putting on the day the prince married her. They were surprised and knew they were getting close to Princess Akweke. As they were searching, on the way they saw a leopard. They did all they could to ward off the leopard but couldn't succeed. The leopard gave them a chase and they started running. And unfortunately, Dede, Ohaji and Ikoku fell inside a well and was never seen, leaving only Ibe as the only survivor. He was bitter, sad, angry that he had lost his brothers. It was as if the world has come to an end for him. Night came, he set out his campfire with some meat. In his mind, he was planning on quitting the search rescue, but he now remembered how far they have come. That if he quits now, that the death of his fellow warriors would be in vain. So the next morning, he set out for the rescue. On his way, he saw the princess bracelet, and this shows that he is very close. After a long walk, he saw a huge gate, and he knew he has found where the princess might be. He entered the gate, and it was creepy. There were many guards in the palace. He knew it's not gonna be an easy task, so the battle began. He fought so brave and strong that he knocked down every guard in the palace. When he fought his way to the palace, he met the creepy prince and asked the creepy prince about Princess Akweke and why she haven't returned to her father as tradition demands. But the creepy prince said,
"She is now my prisoner and will see her people and family ever again."
This made Ibe more angry, and the creepy prince transformed to his true self and began to fight with Ibe. They fought, and Ibe, being good in sword fight, defeated the creepy prince and searched the whole palace. And finally, he saw Princess Akweke and rescued her. And they started to run back home. The creepy prince's father now turned into a beast and chased after them. Ibe and Akweke were running for their lives. They ran and the beast lost sight of them. The next day, Ibe and Princess Akweke reached the village, and the villagers were so surprised to see them, and they were jubilating that the princess is back. The queen, Akweke's mother, ran out and gave her daughter a hug. She was happy that her daughter has returned to the palace, safe and sound. Ibe now took Princess Akweke to the king, and he thanked Ibe so much and asked him about other warriors. Ibe told him that they couldn't make it. Everybody was so touched and cried with them and wished them well after life. The princess knelt down before the people and apologized because she has learnt her lesson and promised to be caring, respectful and humble to everyone in the land. The people forgave her, and Ibe was given a staff which signifies the heir to the throne. Akweke was given out to him for marriage. Ibe was crowned the prince of the land. Princess Akweke got married to Ibe that same day. As the king had said, he gave half of his wealth to Ibe. Ibe was a very happy man, and they lived happy ever after.